Papa Sam is in the house. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's a big man, Rob.
He's a big man.
You know, he spelled the big man the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to say you are a big man. Bigma, and he said no, that's not how you spell it. It's Beeg. Then the man, we don't add M, it's MA.
Because we say it in Ghana.
So you're a big man. Yeah, you're a big man. So those who want to patent the big, is a big man. Ocho man is the Gan form of man.
Yeah.
Big is the Gan form of
and
big.
I'm here with Madame Kokui. That's the Madame.
Ocho Madame. Charlie, no, obey advantage.
No, at all.
Obey advantage. Charlie, I know. Big man, Rob. Yeah. Mini, I know.
Charlie, nothing much.
Nothing much.
Another Friday. Yes, thank God. Another Friday.
Special Friday. Fridays will never be the same on the Citi Breakfast Show. I'm telling you, Fridays will never be the same. Just save it on your diary. Just mark the Friday calendars on your phone. Anyway, good morning, Samen. Good morning, Kokui.
Yesterday, I had a call from somebody from the Jamestown area.
Oh yeah.
What did he say?
Some relative of mine.
Hey, one of our relatives.
Yeah. Charlie, say, brass, I mean, oh, I mean, mana low echo. Oh, I say, which low? I say, Nini Jan show me, but I kept police BSCZ low.
It's our consignment.
What? It's our consignment. What's it for what? Oh, I feel low, shall feel low.
No.
Say, Charlie, this woman.
Oh, it's a woman too. I thought it was a man. No.
To call me for this is bringing my reputation now.
The worst part is, brass, I mean. You mean while they are doing news that the fish they should bring it back, no?
No, once they hear that the thing was stressed, no, they don't say poison, no.
Yeah, no dey inside, man.
Get stress in the LA. No, that would be too much. Because in your corner could any matashi.
It will spices.
Spices.
Oh man.
No, Charlie. No, you know, at times you think about quality of life and enjoyment, and you think that when you live in Laboni Cantonment, that's when you enjoy life.
Okay, will spices. Okay, she will feel legally. But which one will feel legally?
Oh no,
Charlie. Anyway, so what the graphics headline say this morning?
The graphic is echoing the sentiments of many other papers. All right, so the president is speaking. Assess integrity of public buildings. The president charges the housing ministry. Okay. And this has to do with earthquakes.
You should work with the Standards Authority because they have a big campaign on that going on.
All right. Also, tears flow for murdered Kaswa boy.
Yeah.
Graphic and ministry to drive sanitation agenda. And regional minister orders demolition of molds.
Okay, the Chronicle.
Detainees platters corpse face with hot cocoa. We're shaking him.
And they escaped. This is Atadika.
Yeah.
So they pour the cocoa, Charlie.
Ghana imports 187 Abongo boys from Italy.
And other headlines.
Jubilee House, Akosombo Dam, KIA sitting on potential time bomb.
Okay.
All right. The Daily Guide. Police storm fetish home and grab wife and husband flees. Also, earthquake alert. Jubilee House and others are at risk. AG directs CID in Kaswa Boys killers case. And Mahama rebuts bauxite claims.
Okay.
That's the Daily Guide front page.
Let's go to the Crusading Guide.
Weekend Crusading Guide. Akufo-Addo charges Works and Housing Ministry conduct structural integrity of an audit of public buildings. Okay, and then we also have State Housing Corporation to build 100 units near new housing estates in Sefioso, and also to name it after Katechie Kwesi Bumangama II.
Who that?
Let's go to the Ghanaian Publisher. Again, the president is speaking. Akufo-Addo tasked MDAs to develop earthquake response strategies for the country. Also, Sefa Kaim begs for $650,000 to buy incubators for preterm babies. And Tor rejects Woodfield's product shortfall claim Also, Nilante Vanderpoy is applauding the Greater Accra Minister's initiative to sanitize and develop the capital.
Okay, so let's get to the Finder newspaper. What are the front page stories saying?
Okay, it also talks about conduct integrity audit of all public buildings. And then also we have MPP national executives take their thank you tour to 5 regions of the north. One from Ghana Revenue Authority says 1.8 billion cedis suspected tax evasion and money laundering under probe.
Okay.
The Herald, Ekufuado holding NPP MPs to ransom with deputy ministerial jobs. Also, something has gone wrong with us. The Catholic bishops are speaking up against the Kaswa ritual murder. NLA denies charges leveled by lotto operators. And Jubilee House planted story against Mahama and Ibrahim collapses. So no demand was made on bauxite concession. That's the Herald.
Still on headlines, the Informer. Okay.
Informer says angry chiefs chase cops over demolition of community cemetery. And then it says the Atamils Institute lands in Benin with a picture of a big man, Koku Anidoho.
There's also BNC in dogfight over Chop Chop.
Yeah, People's National Convention in dogfight over Chop Chop, and they are doing it while in opposition. They come into power.
All right, let's look at the Daily Statesman. Implement earthquake measures. The president is directing MDAs.
Okay.
We have enough laws to deal with money doublers. This is from Kojo Nkrumah, Minister of Information. And NPP takes thank you tour to northern Ghana.
Okay, Observer this morning.
Observer talks about cracks in it says cracks in NDC dipping. Cadres chase party leaders for 2020 election pink sheets.
And also a few other headlines there. We have
Okay, so another one is NLA allays fears of private lottery
this
operators.
story has been running for a while. This Lotto matter.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And an ongoing upgrade of Kaswa and Pokwase substations will bring systematic outages in May.
All right.
This is coming from the energy minister.
All right, the Business and Financial Times. New monitoring system in petroleum sector. 1 billion Ghana cedis added to government revenue in 10 months. SEC to roll out investor protection fund. Smallholder farmers are losing out on GCX platform. Progressive portrayal of women. Reflections on how we should continue to shift the narrative. And those are the headlines on the front page of the Business and Financial
let me take you online. CityNewsroom.com. Mutawakil kicks against ECG proposed tariff increment. Also, we will take down channels promoting spiritualists. This is KNET. They are making a big warning. In Zuma East MCA confiscates smoked washed ashore dolphins after City News report. And NAPO justifies Grid Coast maintenance works. Now, those are the lead stories. There's also ECG proposes increment in tariff to support operational activities. Now, citybusinessnews.com. ECG proposes increase in electricity tariffs. Blame government for recent power challenges, not Greco. This is Kwabna Donko. Meanwhile, Kumasi residents and business operators call for doomsort timetable. And Ghana Statistical Service begins training for 2021 population and housing census national trainers. Now, if you go to myjournalline.com, I rejected offer to vie for speaker position. Haruna Idrisu speaking. Also, Kaswa murder. Second accused was once arrested for stealing. Grandfather reveals. And parts of Kumasi to experience power outage from 7 p.m. daily. This is coming from Energy Analyst. Now, if you go to Star FM, Kumasi, doomsday is collapsing our businesses. Cold store owners cry. Meanwhile, Mahama to Daily Guide, I haven't made any demands on government. And demand ID cards before admitting guests, police to hotels. This follows a lot of these killings that are happening or deaths that people are finding out in hotels. So those are some of the stories on our main website. So let's start with you, Kuki. What do you want to enter?
All right, I'm going to go to the Daily Graphic and the Daily Guide, the story we've been following very closely regarding the incident in Kaswa. So tears flow for murdered Kaswa boy. That's in the Graphic. Uncontrollable tears, shock, and at some point rage were the emotions that were expressed as family, friends, and other sympathizers came together to bid 10-year-old Ishmael Mensah Abdallah, who was gruesomely murdered by his friends last Saturday. Ishmael was a class 4 pupil at the Maranatha Preparatory and and Junior High School. He was killed on Holy Saturday by two teenagers, Nicholas Kinney, who's 18, and Felix Nyakun, who's 16, in Kasoa in the central region. It was difficult for people to hold back their emotions when his body was they laid there wrapped in black cloth and was brought to the family house for Muslim prayers before burial. Now, in the Daily Guide, police storm fetish home. Now, remember, we were told that these boys allegedly were influenced by something they saw on TV, all of that. The fetish priest, whose television advert was believed to have influenced two teenagers in Kasoa in the central region to kill an 11-year-old boy for money ritual, has been identified as Solomon Ajololo. The fetish priest, popularly known as Rasta, is an ex-convict who hails from Aflao in the Volta region, according to the Daily Guide. He started his so-called spiritual business at Somenya, then moved to Amenchia, a community along the Suhum Road. After serving his sentence, he moved out of the outskirts of Suhum. His wife, identified as Charity Mensah, who's also a fetish priestess, was nursing a 2-week-old baby and arrested in Rambo style on Wednesday by police officers in Accra, but Rasta was not home at the time. Another person called Desmond Nieje was also picked up during the raid.
Now, in relation to this story, KNet has sent out a warning. Now, KNet is a service provider for a lot of the channels that show, I believe, for both satellite and digital. Internet and data service provider KNet has threatened to remove from its direct-to-home platforms channels promoting activities.
They are the host of the satellite ones.
Channels promoting activities of scammers, spiritualists, money doublers, and fraudsters. The caution follows the alleged killing of an 11-year-old boy, as we just read. Now, here's a quote from the statement. In recent days, our attention has been drawn to the fact that some channels on our DTH platform use the medium to promote scammers, fraudsters, juju, and occultism, among others. While some of this content is alleged to have fueled two young boys to kill another younger boy, there should not have been any place for them on the platform in the first place. We strongly advise that if you have been showing any of this type of content, then please cease and desist in order to restore the values of the platform. Any channel failing to adhere to this directive and utilizing our bouquet license, albeit temporarily, will be left without the cover, and as such will be removed from the platform. Portions of the statement from KNet said, and they also quote Film Act 2016, Act 935 to back their cease and desist order. So that's for content providers. Now, sometimes you have the Chronicle. What story are you looking at for us?
Chronicle. Jubilee House, Akosombo Dam, KIA, that's Kotoka International Airport, sitting on potential time bomb, and this has to do with the earthquake zone. So the seat of the nation's presidency, Jubilee House, is among other key state installations the National Disaster Management Organization has indicated are exposed on the earthquake fault line. The others include Tema Harbour, Kotoka International Airport, the Akosombo Dam installation, which are all housed in 4 regions.
So the harbour, the dam, the Flagstaff House, everything is on fault line.
Yeah.
So the president has ordered that they should do what? They should.
Well, president has asked them to work on, the integrity of these
Structural integrity of these buildings or these
but
structures.
Specifically on the danger earthquake zone. Let me see. I'm trying to get through. Okay, so the West Africa earthquake fault line in Ghana gets to Ho, moves through Eastern region, through Greater Accra region, all the way to Nyanyano in the Central region.
All right, so that's something we should be concerned about. I've heard the Standards Authority talk about structural integrity tests they want to conduct. So this looks like a good clarion call for them to collaborate with this earthquake people to deal with the matter. Back to the graphic, Kukui, what do you have?
Back to the graphic, we've been talking a lot about education. Pre-tertiary schools are going to have a new curriculum. The ministry is going to engage academia and industry on this. So our Minister for Education, Dr. Yawose Educhum, has said that he wants stakeholders to come together to develop a curriculum for pre-tertiary education to align pre-tertiary education with university admission and programs on one hand and industry requirements on the other, which is important. He says, as I speak with you, I've got concerns about students who studied agriculture in high school but are being refused admission to various universities in this country, reason being that they reformed the curriculum without the involvement of universities. He said this when he presented a paper on creating a 21st century educational system for economic development. He noted that education is the process of acquiring knowledge through ideas, values, skills, and experiences, and it helps to raise the poor from poverty by increasing the value and efficiency of their labor. There's a strong correlation between education and economy.
Before we come to Doomsaw and ECG, let's go to the Cocoa story that happened. I think this is the Chronicle still.
Yeah, the Tema Regional Police Command is calling for information that may lead to the arrest of any of the escaped prisoners. If you have any information, there are some numbers 0246.
But what did they do?
Around 6:40 a.m., these guys were given food, porridge. So one Aziz Fuseni, who was in behind bars, poured the hot porridge on the face of the police officer, which helped him and others escape from lawful custody.
No, but it's serious. So the police gave them cocoa to drink.
Yes.
And he poured the cocoa on the policeman's face.
No, not the cocoa, the hot one.
It's serious.
The hot
and
one.
the rest of them escaped.
And the officer had opened the cell gate to detain another suspect only named as Aziz, when the fugitive took advantage to throw the hot porridge into his face. And
This
they
is
bill
really
it.
He ran away. All right, now let's talk about Doom. So a couple of stories here. ECG is talking, and they're proposing an increase in tariff to support operational activities. CitiNewsroom.com. ECG says it needs more funds to support its operational activities. MD of the company, Kwame Ajimambudu, at a public forum on Thursday, said while he's aware that the proposal will only materialize after approval from PURC, he believes that it's critical for ECG to have access to more funds to operate it efficiently. Now, Lifeline consumers classified as poor and low income pay 16 cedis for power consumed, an extra 2.13 cedis service charge, making a total of 18 cedis. We need money to improve. If we get the increase, we would love it. But this is up to the PRC. Now, there are lots of Doomsaw related stories. So, for example, NAPO says there will be systematic power outages in May. Minister for Energy, Dr. Matiku Prempe, says there will be erratic power supply in May due to ongoing upgrade of the Kaswa and Pokwasi substations. Speaking at the forum in Accra, same foreign minister said his outfit is currently engaging Gridco, ECG, and others to strategize ahead of the expected outages. He says he received a letter from MIDA, who are helping upgrade the Pokwasi and Kaswa substations. Now, if you go to Star FM, there's a story there. Doomsaw is collapsing our businesses. Cold store owners cry. Story says cold store operators in Asafo Market in Kumasi, Ashanti region, say they are losing business due to erratic power supply. According to them, they've had to dispose of hundreds of cartons of sport fish due to months of unreliable power supply. And then finally, if you go to citybusinessnews.com, still on Doomsaw, so lots of stories on Doomsaw. A group is calling for Doomsaw timetable. Residents and business operators in Kumasi are calling for a Doomsaw timetable following intermittent power supply in that area. Some inhabitants of the region say the power fluctuations have badly affected them, and they've called on authorities to release a load shedding timetable.
All right, Bernardino. Well, many of us have been commending the Greater Accra Regional Minister for his approach to tackling some of our issues. And Nilante van der Poy also seems to be doing same. The Member of Parliament for Ododo Diodo, Edwin Nilante van der Poy, has described as laudable the approach being used by the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Mr. Henry Quartey, to ensure sanity in the region, which includes the nation's capital. He applauded the Regional Minister for his initial decision to confer with all members of Parliament within the region to solicit ideas and support for various programs he intends to roll out. He says that all the support the regional minister requires will be gained, I guess, without any political or partisan colorization. He says this will give a non-partisan coloration and encourage more citizens to participate in implementation of these programs. He thinks as much as possible, the minister is trying to reduce the political divide and bring everyone together to advance development in the region.
He started very, very well, and we hope he succeeds. Now, sometimes I don't know what you have because I wanted to give you something here, but if you can.
Okay, go on.
All right, so we have two stories. In Zima East, MCE confiscates smoked washed ashore dolphins after City News report. So, whilst your friend is asking you for fish, the minister, the DC is retrieving more. So, following City News report on fishmongers in Axim preparing some of the dolphins that were washed ashore last week for sale, then Zima East MCE Frank Okpenyen, with the support from FDA and the police, moved to confiscate the fish. When the team arrived, they found a basket full of already smoked dolphin, together with about 20 dead ones. They subsequently seized the mammals and the smoked ones and sent them away. Speaking to City News, the DC says it's working hard to retrieve the rest of the dolphins that were washed ashore but have been taken to individual homes for sale or consumption. Charlie, you should see what they've done to the thing. They've roasted the thing, and they were cutting it into pieces ready to send to the market. You know,
Charlie,
and
it's not easy.
I don't understand.
I see it reveals a bigger issue. I mean, because these things actually do happen from time to time, howbeit not
on this scale.
So it tells you that over the years, Charlie, we've been chopping some things that we don't know.
It's very serious, especially those who like money and those things. You are eating
Charlie,
things.
you can't degrade money in this manner early morning like this.
All right, let's give a few other headlines. We have just a couple of minutes to go.
SNIT responds to the informal story. Headline: SNIT mismanages workers' contribution. It says the article is misleading. Paragraphs 6, 7, 9, and 12 of the article confirm that the trust did due diligence at the Lands Commission before acquiring the parcel of land in question.
All right.
Yeah, a quick one here. And, there are lots of facilities, health facilities in this country lacking things that we think should be basic.
Yes.
Incubators are one. I'd like to talk about this quickly because it's important. Sefa Kanye is asking for $650,000 from people to contribute to buy incubators for preterm babies because many of our hospitals are still lacking. And this is through the Kokuroko Charities Foundation, founded by Kwame, as we know. There's a list of hospitals that have benefited from the incubators he's provided in the past, but there's still an appeal for more. He says through the Project 100 initiative, they've already done what they can to hospitals around the country, but they're trying to do a lot more. An incubator costs I think the 100 that he got is $10,000 each.
There's also a story here on Princess Mary Louis Hospital that the building needs attention. It's a story written by Daniel Abugre Anyoriga, and the management of the hospital has bemoaned the structural defects and inadequate staffing of the facility, and she's calling for support. I wanted to give you an update on the story on the Cocoa because Citi Newsroom has an update on the escapees, and this story just came in. Now it says Zenu Atadeka jailbreak, escapee surrenders to police.
Wow.
Now, one of the inmates who escaped from jail at Zenu Atadeka in the Bonkatamaso municipality of Greater Accra has surrendered to the police. Sumaila is currently under detention. 6 other inmates who escaped have been rearrested while efforts are underway to locate the other escapees for arrest. I'm not sure if the guy who poured the cocoa has been caught yet.
You mean Aziz?
I think they'll give him the hot cocoa to drink. One of the inmates allegedly poured hot porridge on the face of the police officer, paving way for the 12 escapees suspects to escape. 3 out of the 12 were recaptured at Juapon. From Atadeka, it means they passed through the bush.
They enter.
We are arraigned on the charges listed below: conspiracy to commit crime, namely escape from lawful custody, assault on police officer, and escape from lawful custody. The accused persons pleaded guilty to all 3 charges, 3 counts, and they were found guilty and accordingly sentenced to 2 years imprisonment, etc., etc., etc.
I have to do this for you, Bernard.
What?
Hearts of Oak need Mafia to win league. You're wearing the jersey this morning.
Mafia. We have a game
so
against
we have to. That's a Daily Guide back page. It said Harry Zaku said we need Mafia infiltration.
No,
Oli is holding the fort for now.
Hearts of Oak is 4th on the league table with 30 points. That's just 3 points behind Olympics. And we have a game to. So you're only 3 points. Oli has 33 points. Karela 32, Asante Kotok 31, Hearts 30. So if we win our next match,
we are there.
Yeah.
No, Oli.
No, it's
Only COVID-19.
Thank you very much. So that was the newspaper.